Hey man.
How's it going?
Good,
Did
good.
you catch the fights last
I was out and about. The time difference was just it didn't work out.
night? Right, right, right.
We were at a resort, but as soon as I got home, I went and watched the fight. I uh
Oh yeah.
I have a very different view to everyone in my group chat to the gym. What do
Uh,
you think of the fight?
I think it was really, really close, and it really just depends on how the judges score it.
Mm,
I do think Islam won by a tiny, tiny, tiny bit,
yeah,
although I really wanted Alex to win. I
yeah,
was like, my heart was beating. I'm like, come on, Alex. And I was super, super impressed and actually
oh
surprised, if I'm being
yeah,
honest,
yeah.
because he just kept popping back to his feet, and yeah, I'm just very impressed.
No one expected that. Hey, no one expected him to just be able
Yeah.
to get up. And look, I thought if he's gonna win, it's gonna be a stoppage TKO. I didn't think he would knock him out, but I
Mhm.
thought like exactly how it ended. Like if it had gone a
Mhm.
little bit longer, that's how I envisioned it finishing. But it didn't play out that way. But I think a rematch, Volkanovski would probably have his number now. I think now he knows exactly what he's fighting.
Yeah, if Alex kind of was maybe, I mean, he was pretty aggressive, but if he landed a few more shots, like maybe in the first, second round, I think he would have took it home. But
Yeah.
yeah, Islam did land more shots. That's the truth.
He did, and had a bit more, or had more ground control as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but that was to be expected, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, I suppose I should do a little bit of an intro. Uh,
Sure,
that could be like the snippet before it goes into the thing. It's like, what's that?
sure.
Hey guys, it's Coach Eli here. Today I'm here with the one and only Jeff Chan. I don't know if he's here or if he's here on the video, but very blessed to have him come and have a chat to us today. Before he's got a couple of seminars in Australia and
Mhm.
coming to Kingdom Martial Arts and also doing a super seminar the day after in Sydney. So
Yes.
yeah, so look, I know who you are. Most people know who you are. Um, but who is Jeff Chan? Who is Jeff
Uh,
Chan?
I'm just a regular guy who trains martial arts, to be completely honest.
Yeah, yeah.
I run some social media platforms on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and what I do is I break down my sparring videos to help others learn and progress their martial arts journey. I make tutorials in jiu-jitsu, wrestling, striking, and I vlog my martial arts journey pretty much.
That's so cool, man. It's literally living the dream. Like, would you want to do anything else?
Honestly, no, I couldn't be more happy with what I do for work right now.
Yeah. If you weren't able to do martial arts for a living, what would you do? Like, would you be like a carpenter or an electrician or something, or like what would have been the game plan before if this didn't
So
work out?
I was actually in law enforcement,
Oh wow, wow, yeah. So
and yeah, I was in law enforcement for 2 months,
yeah,
and something very unfortunate happened in my life, and I actually lost that position.
mm,
My life turned upside down actually, and I spent 10 years of my life trying to get into law enforcement.
yeah,
So after getting in that situation, I lost the job, and I was literally pretty not forced, but like I had nothing left for me but martial arts. And
yeah.
that's when I put all my eggs into one basket and focus on the channel. And that's when I started seeing progress. So that's
Oh,
actually what happened. So if to answer your question, yeah, I would probably be a police officer if
yeah, yeah.
you know flip of the coin.
That's really cool. So you obviously you live in Canada, yeah. Oh no, sorry,
Yes,
you live in New York. You grew up in Canada. That right?
yes,
Yeah. So
yes, yes.
Were you doing this in Canada? Were you
Canada,
or
Canada.
Canada? Oh, okay, nice, nice. Whereabouts?
Yeah,
Like
Ottawa.
Ottawa. Oh, okay, yeah. So where you from? Yeah. Mad. That's
So
like
I can tell you. Oh, I was gonna say I can give you a short version of what happened
oh look,
if interested.
I wasn't gonna pry, but like man, if you're an open book, man, for sure, I'd love
Yeah,
to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, so this would probably be my second time telling it publicly.
Oh wow.
It's been 5 years since the situation happened, and now that it's been quite some time, I'm very comfortable with sharing the story and
Mhm.
actually kind of use it as a way to inspire others. So
Yeah.
essentially, spent 10 years of my life trying to get into policing. Yes, I grew up in, lived in Ottawa, moved to Toronto for more job opportunities because there's just
Mm.
more police service to apply to. When I moved to Toronto, still couldn't get in. And then at the time, my father had passed away. So I used his insurance money to buy a condo. And
Mm.
shortly after that, I got offered a position in a town called Waterloo, which is about an hour away from Toronto.
Mm.
And Waterloo is like a dead town. It's like, and I was young at the time. So I didn't want to move there and just live in a dead town. I want to
Mm.
still party in Toronto, where it's a big city. So I didn't want to sell my condo, and at the time I had an acquaintance who moved from Ottawa to Toronto, and he wasn't a close friend, but he was someone I knew. And
Yeah.
essentially, I rented out my one-bedroom condo to him, but the deal was I can come back on weekends to crash on the couch. So it was a small place, but because he was a friend and I gave him a good discount, he would let me come back on the weekends to crash. Yes. So 2 months in the job, I come back to my condo to
Mm.
crash and to find RCMP and Border Police raided my
Yeah.
whole condo.
Yeah.
So essentially, what happened was he shipped drugs, and to be more specific, fentanyl, to
Yeah.
my condo under my name. And yeah, by the time I got there, he was already in jail, and they
Yeah.
interviewed me. And me not knowing what happened, I told him everything I knew,
Yeah.
which is not nothing, just like information about my life and what I did.
Yeah.
And then a week later, my supervisor called me and told me I was suspended because I was under investigation. So then at that point, I was like really scared, worried. And then I just thought it would pass
Yeah.
because I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
A month later, they decided to arrest me. So I actually went to jail for 2.5 weeks
Oh.
and was bailed out after that.
Yeah.
And then I was under house arrest for 2.5 years.
Oh.
During that 2.5 years, under my conditions, I didn't have an ankle bracelet, but I was not allowed to leave the house, and I was
Yeah.
not allowed to use a cell phone or the internet.
Oh.
And eventually, I spoke to my lawyer and asked them to change the conditions so that I could use the internet through my mom or my sister, who are my
Mm.
sureties. And yeah, so basically that's what happened. Just because he sent drugs to my condo under my name,
Yeah.
and that was the only evidence they had, they changed my life upside down. Lost my
Yeah.
job, could never get back to law enforcement. And during that time is when I actually was like, what am I going to do after all this?
Yeah.
I can't go back to law enforcement, which is where all my credentials are.
Yeah.
I guess I only have martial arts in my YouTube channel. So I put all my effort into the channel, and that's kind of when it started blowing up.
Yeah. Wow. That's a very, thank you for sharing, man. Like, feel very honored that you wanted to share that with me, you know. Um, that's such a full-on story. And I don't even know where to begin with that. Like, um, did you want to be a police officer your whole life or
I did. I mean, I wanted to be a police officer because I want to help people. I wanted
yeah,
a good job. And in Canada, being a police officer is a pretty good job.
yeah,
And I'm actually an accounting dropout. So I wasn't great in math and clearly accounting. And
yeah,
I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I feel like a lot of people who go into law enforcement or the military are usually people who are somewhat athletic,
yeah,
like to do sports, don't know what to do with their lives.
yeah,
That was pretty much my reason, if
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
being completely honest.
yeah, yeah, for sure,
So
man. Yeah,
in hindsight, I'm actually grateful that it all happened because
yeah,
I would not be doing what I'm doing if that didn't happen. I would have been stuck in that dead town, being a police officer, working overnight shifts, and
um,
not doing something I love.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
man. I'm so happy for
So I
you.
guess thank you. I
Yeah,
guess my what do you call it? Point in telling people is that things do happen for a reason in life.
mm,
And I
yeah,
wasn't religious before, and I'm not still not religious, but I do believe in a higher being, and I do believe, yeah, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of be positive if you ever find yourself in like a really crappy situation. Like this was I tell the story really casually now, but like it
Yeah.
was no joke.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
wanted 18 years for something I did not do. Like it was no joke. Like I told my family, like if I go to jail for something I did not do, I would kill myself.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was something very, very serious at the time.
yeah. It shows a big hole in in the justice system, and
Yes.
yeah, wow. 18 years. It would have no fight breakdowns, would have no fight like series, would have, you know,
No.
like I consider you to be like the it's like how Jesse Aiken's like the karate nerd, he knows everything about karate. I consider you as
Yeah.
the MMA nerd, like you just have such a great fight IQ, and yeah, I just couldn't imagine a world where there is no Jeff Chan, but to hear that it was a very real thing that could have happened, it's we just thank our lucky stars. Um, yeah, wow. So what got you into martial arts? Like, what was that? Like, was that just
What
like
was what? Sorry.
what got you into martial arts?
Oh, I don't have any special story. Just a friend brought me in to try a Muay Thai class when I was 15 years old, and I tried it and just kept training and never really quit.
Yeah.
Um, my friend who brought me quit, but
Yeah, of course.
I stayed in it.
Yeah.
Um, and then just like most martial artists, when you train for a long time, you get good. And then when you train and you're good, your coach will be like, hey, you should compete. And
Yeah.
then you take a fight, you just kind of keep seeing where it goes. So I
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
had any intentions of becoming a professional fighter.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, turned professional in 2012, and it's
Mm.
now 2023, and I've only had 5 pro MMA fights, and then a bunch of amateur Muay Thai fights. But like from 2012 to 2023, only 5 pro fights. It just shows that like I never actually wanted to compete. It was just kind
Yeah.
of like, oh, someone wants me to fight. Here's an opportunity. I have time. Okay, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I actually fought again was because I was in that situation. I was under house arrest and I didn't know what else to do. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I guess fighting again would help with my credentials on
Yeah.
YouTube. So let's just fight
Yeah.
again. But I never really wanted to. I always just loved training and just
Yeah.
loved being a martial artist.
Same. Yeah. Yeah. It's something in here that like I don't know. For me, it's if I'm not doing this, I feel like I'm empty. I don't feel like um I don't know, like it's not something I could give up. It's not something I could stop doing. I feel like it fulfills a part of me that's like a deep seated um thing, like really, really deep seated that, if I'm not doing it, I'm doing myself an injustice, you know?
Mhm.
Like yeah, I remember I got told that I was never gonna train again. Um I had
Oh wow.
an abductor injury, and they're like, "You're never going to train again. Like, can you do coaching or something instead?" Or like, and I was shattered. It absolutely killed me. And
How did that happen?
oh, just it was something silly. It was like doing roundhouse kicks, like just like speed kicks on the bag and
Oh
something tall.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. It was nothing. I saw several doctors, and then I was like, I'm just going to train anyway. and and then I saw one doctor, and last doctor I've seen, they did an ultrasound, all that kind of stuff, and they said, no, you're fine, go train. I was like, what? Yes. It's such a relief. Um,
Yeah.
you were saying the friend that doesn't train with you anymore, the one that started with you, are you still friends with him? Do you still see him around and that?
Not too often, to be honest.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
to be honest, different city. Just kind of grew. We all kind of grew up in doing different things. But
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's you see it a lot. Like I recently just bought this gym, um, and even just in training, you always see people, so many people come through. Everyone wants to be everyone wants to be the next Conor McGregor or something, you know. And then a week later, they're like, "Oh, I don't know, this is too hard," you know. But it's so many people. Yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of that where people all tell me like, "Hey, coach, I'm going to be the next UFC fighter. Believe in me. I can do this. I'm the best. I got heart, this and that." And then they have like their first in-house fight, and then I don't see them again.
Yeah, yeah. I had one guy say to me, "Look, I really want to fight," and I was like, "All right." I was like, "Look, if I'm going to coach you, I have to look after you. I have to make sure you're safe, you know. So I'll tell you everything I want you to do, you know, and everything that you'll have to do for me to be in your corner and coach you." And I put out the list for him, and, you know, no drinking, no drugs, no smoking, no pot or anything, blah 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 blah. And he never came back to the gym. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well.
You know, but you
Yeah.
have you really got to look after the people that want to fight. Like if they don't look after them, like if you don't look after them and point them in the right direction, they can really get hurt. You know, it's
There's definitely a lot to sacrifice, and
yeah,
that's what kind of made me realize that fighting may not be for me. Training is,
yeah,
but fighting isn't, because again, you have to sacrifice a lot of
mm,
time with your family, friends,
yeah,
food, which
yeah.
is my life. I'm all about food. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. And your brain is also a big one.
that's a huge one. Hey, yeah. Have you seen sort of like CTE throughout the professional and I guess amateur round? Have you seen much CTE?
Mhm. I can't say that I've been diagnosed with CTE, but I
Mm.
definitely believe that my brain has taken quite a bit of damage, and I do actually feel like I've been slower
Okay.
over the years. Maybe that's just through old age, but
Mm.
I do sometimes forget names when I'm like, oh my God, how did I forget that guy's name? And
Yeah.
again, I've spoken to people and a lot of people also who are not fighters say it's just old age, but
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows?
That's right. That's exactly it. Hey, like, do you supplement or take any sort of precautions for that exact thing for brain damage?
I would just say that I try to promote technical and light sparring,
Yeah.
and I will always prefer to do technical and light sparring.
Yeah.
That may seem the opposite when you watch my videos, because whenever there is hard sparring, I'll post it because that's what gets the views.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I guess I do somewhat have an ego. So if someone hits me hard,
Yeah.
then
Of
I'm just
course.
gonna hit hard back,
Yeah.
and then that turns into a good video.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I promise I don't look for it. Whereas some people
Yeah.
may think that's what I do, but it's actually the opposite. And
Yeah.
the amount of times I spar nice and light is just not caught on camera.
Yeah.
And if there's no sort of theme or purpose of that sparring session, I won't post it, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. I think light sparring is so underrated. Um,
Mhm.
I remember I was my old gym I used to train at. We had a boxing coach, great boxing coach. You know, he's a big dude, and it was just all hard sparring as well. And I realized something was wrong when I started slurring my words. You know, I was like,
Yeah,
oh no. I'm like, that's not
yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah.
You know, so
It's not at all. They
yeah.
talk about how your brain is so fragile, and
Oh
just like
yeah.
one little hit, your brain shakes.
Yep.
Um, yeah,
Mm.
I try
Do
to not
you
think about it.
yeah, yeah. I have one more question just with this sparring stuff. Do headgear or no headgear? What do you think's worse?
Honestly, I don't like headgear. I
Mm.
am just used to not wearing headgear. I think
Yeah,
headgear blurs your vision, and I'm a
yeah,
big vision-based fighter. I think
yeah.
headgear weighs your head down, and I use a lot of head movement. I
Mm.
think headgear makes your head a bigger target.
Yeah.
And again, I like to move my head,
Yeah.
and it gives you a false sense of security.
Yes. Yeah. I in Australia we have amateur boxing, for instance. You have to wear a headgear in amateur boxing in New South Wales, but in Queensland they've basically banned it. because people are getting more damage because you can hit people harder in the head, and their brains are getting like, you know. So,
Yes.
yeah, I don't like headgear. I Yeah,
Yeah.
especially when you're kicking and things like that. Like you need to be able to have full vision. You know, like I have an open face one,
Sure.
but I'd never wear it. You know. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I just don't know why people use it.
Yeah.
The only reason, actually, though, there's one reason is headbutts. Not that I spar with headbutts, but if you're wrestling,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
to avoid.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Um. I like. I was like, I should prepare for this. So I written stuff down. Like you see me last time we spoke, and I was like, give me a second. I've got a whole list of things. Um. But like, I think I actually touched on a lot of it. Um. Oh, that was the thing. Um, who's been like your biggest influence? Like you looked at a martial artist and you're like, that's the person I want to be. Like, who's that for you?
It's hard to say a specific person because there's a lot of fighters, UFC fighters that I look up to be to have the style of fighting as
Mm.
they do, but I never wanted to have that specific lifestyle because as I said, I don't want to be a professional fighter. I don't want
Yeah,
to fight for a living. Like
yeah,
I'd love to say like I want to be like Jose Aldo
mm.
or George St. Pierre or Conor McGregor. But the truth is, I don't want to fight. I don't like to fight. Like Jose
Yeah.
Aldo just retired, but he's now thinking of doing boxing. Like he's
Boxing.
just a
Yeah,
straight up
yeah,
fighter. He just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I can name a bunch of fighters that I want to imitate their style, and I can
yeah.
name that off the top of my head.
That's what I meant. Yeah,
Okay, that's what you mean.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
Jose Aldo definitely the local. George St.
Yes,
Pierre with his takedowns,
yes,
Dominic Cruz with his head movement, PJ
yes,
Dillashaw with his head kicks,
yes,
Anderson Silva with his counter punches with head
yes,
movement, Wonderboy Thompson with his snappy high kicks as well,
oof,
footwork,
yes,
Israel Adesanya with his feints.
yes.
Yeah, I could probably keep going, but
Oh man, yeah.
those are
It's
probably my main ones.
yeah, 100%. A very, very similar, a very similar lineup. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Conor
so cool.
McGregor
Yeah.
with his just distance control and sniper hands.
Oh yeah, that is like I'm not the biggest kind of fan, but in saying that, I don't like the drama that the reality show side of things, but stylistically, I think that
His style,
sniper, yeah, his style, that sniper of a hand is, um, well, it was something pretty amazing, you know. Uh,
clean. It's
yeah,
clean.
it is. Hey, like I was like, how do you beat like because he's so good at it and just like the gauging the distance and then just popping it off, pop. And what I was like, how would you counter that? How would you beat that? How would you fight like if you were to stylistically match up with Conor McGregor? What would be like your game plan to work with him?
I mean, I think everyone knows that trying to shoot for the takedown would be the best bet with Connor.
Mm,
But if there was no grappling involved or allowed, I would play the counter game. Like I'd love to.
mm.
I'm not saying I would personally love to fight him, but I would love to play that game where you get in that striking range and
Yeah,
bait so that he throws his cross and then you slip his cross and counter his cross, and when he tries to
yeah,
counter your cross, you weave under and like just play that matrix.
yes, yes, yes.
But that's
It's
probably the best type of sparring, which is
yeah,
when someone plays that same game with you, where he doesn't pressure too much, he just stays on the outside with you and trades.
yeah.
Not just stand there and trade, but like
Mm.
plays headman with you. That game is so fun.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, what about outside of the gym, off the mat? Like, are there people that you look up to, like people that sort of, you know, like influence you in your life, like sort of like mentors, like whether they're online or in person? Do you have like people in your life that sort of help guide you?
I would say that I have There's this guy named Sean Fagan, the Muay Thai guy.
Yes, yes.
He is actually one of the people who inspired me to start my channel. In fact, I started
Mm.
my channel when I went to his Muay Thai camp in 2016.
Yeah,
And
right.
I attended his camp to go train with him. And he was already doing what I do now,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
all Muay Thai, making a living off doing Muay Thai. And he told me, "Hey, you can do the same thing. I'll
Mm.
even help you, and you can even use my camera while you're here." And my first few videos are with Sean and his
Yeah, yeah.
camera. So I would say he's someone who inspired me to start all this.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool. What's like,
Yeah.
and I've seen that you got like online courses, and I've been getting your emails for so long, just like, and I'm always like, oh, I teach MMA, so I'm like, oh, there's just something I need to just figure out, and I'll like go on your channel. I'm like, it's all these little tips really help me, So, but you have like online training. Are you on BJJ Fanatics as well, and dynamic striking, things
Yeah,
like that?
I did a course for dynamic striking.
Yeah.
I sell programs on my own website. Um, I host camps, so I'll be doing a Muay Thai camp or a striking camp right after my trip in Australia.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's mad. Hey, I wish I could come to that, but I have a wife and a child and a gym that all need me to look after them. Not to mention all the people in the
And
gym that, and I've been in
you've also been
India,
in
so
India for the last
yeah,
how long?
yeah. So, but it's really cool. Like, and the super seminar that you guys are doing, that's kind of cool. I like I said, when I first saw that, I was like, nah, this can't be real. I thought it was a scam, and so I looked into it, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I was like, oh no, this is real. But then I was when I went to pay for it, it wouldn't let me pay in Australian dollars, and then it said you can't pay for it
Hmm.
like this. And I'm like, it's a scam. But then you and Ramsey were messaging me and had told me that it was a thing, and then I was talking to Rokus, and he was all sorted. We sorted it all out. So even after the seminar that you're doing at Kingdom Martial Arts, uh, I'll actually be at the next seminar the next day with you guys anyway. So
Oh,
really looking
you're coming.
forward. Yeah, of course, of course.
Oh, wow, cool,
Yeah,
cool, cool, cool.
yeah, yeah. Like for me, it's my life is just training. It's like training has helped me. Like I started training. My first experience with proper training was with my friend in the outback, and he'd had a few amateur fights. He was like head of security, that kind of stuff. Um, and he taught me the real basics of MMA and stuff, like real basics, not for very long, but enough to sort of build my confidence. And long story short, I spent a lot of time on and off the streets my whole life, and I found myself living in my car back in my hometown by myself. I had no friends around me, no family around me, no contact with anyone. And I drove past this gym, and it was called Munamuso, and it had karate, Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, all that kind of stuff. And I'd always wanted to train, but we never had money growing up. So like it was always like, we will, but we just didn't have money to go do that kind of stuff. So I was like, all right, well, I need to take responsibility and ownership of my life. So I'm gonna go and join. And
Mhm.
so I walked in the door and I was like, I'd like to start. Um, and whoop, meeting will end in 10 minutes. um, and yeah, and that was when I first started properly training. And from there, it's given me a purpose, a reason to get up every morning. It's given me
Mhm.
when I had nothing, it gave me something that was something. It gave me my foundation, for well, now I own my own gym, like so
Yeah.
it's something that I was doing. It wasn't necessarily my career, it wasn't necessarily anything, but it was that thing that I needed to do for me. And yeah, so now I'm like in this situation now, it's like I wouldn't want to do anything else. I feel
Exactly.
very blessed. that I can do this. And it's so good that guys like you and like Sensei Seth and Shane Faison and all the guys across YouTube basically building a blueprint for the future of what a martial arts could do as a career. Like I think online training courses are perfect. Like I released a book like MMA Foundations Volume 1. There's so many different ways that we can become successful as martial artists and influence a lot of people. And like you said, like you just want to help people. You just want to do good for people as well, and like that's the same as me. It's like all I want to do is like I have a vision in mind for the gym, and it's I want it to be a place for young men to build character. That's my goal, is like give them a place that's surrounded by positive people that are going to build them up and help them become men. Like that's my sort of vision for Kingdom Martial Arts at the moment. But yeah,
I feel like a gym martial arts community is just it's so good. It's so healthy for young people. It humbles you quickly, and that's like one of the biggest things. Humbles you really quickly, and then you build the self-defense, the confidence, the discipline to becoming an adult. It's just the best sport to put your kid in. Really.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's we got a kids boxing program, which is pretty cool. And at the end of every class, we talk about basically the Bushido code. We talk about the virtues of a warrior, and I ask them for like examples of like say respect, like what's a time that you've shown respect or something, and we talk and we discuss like the virtues. And you're in a unique position as their coach. It's quite nice. I quite enjoy it. Look, man, I better jump off this. It's what's time here? I think it's like nearly 8 o'clock here. What's time there?
It's 9:19.
But you're at AM. PM?
AM.
AM. Yeah, I'm PM. Yeah. So I'm going to bed. You're going to go start your day.
Yes.
Well, man, look, it's been absolutely awesome talking to you, and I feel so honored that you shared that story with me. I can't wait for you to come to Australia and see my gym and then be a part of my journey as well. And I've already talked to like my friend. He has a chicken joint. He's going to stay open just so we can go and have chicken for you. Nice. It's Mario, his name is. He's the best, man. So, but
I'm
yeah,
excited.
so yeah, me too, man. It's going to be awesome. And yeah. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Is there anything that you want to say? Like, I know if anyone wants to get a hold of you, it's MMA Shredded, pretty much across all platforms.
Yeah, just you search up MMA Shredded, and that's pretty much all my platforms, or the name for all my platforms. Super excited to come to Australia. If it's not too late, sign up for the seminar at Kingdom Martial Arts. Can't wait to be there. And I'll see you like literally in a week and a half.
Yeah, I'll see. I'll not even in the same country, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm gonna hit stop on this recording, and